So we're going to talk about a stand and pivot transfer. This is a transfer that you would do with someone whenever they're moving between surfaces. It could be to a chair, a recliner, their wheelchair, a bed, a mat table, really any transfer between surfaces. A person who can safely perform a stand pivot transfer has to be able to stand, and they have to be able to do most of the work on their own, meaning staff should not be having to physically assist them more than minimum to moderate levels of assistance. The person also needs to be able to take steps. It's really important that once they're standing, they're able to move their feet and turn to their destination so that they're not experiencing injuries to their legs or knees specifically. So I'm going to demo this transfer with Tony. We're going to do a stand pivot transfer from a wheelchair to a regular chair. So the first thing that you want to do is to make sure you have the environment set up safely for the transfer. So the transfer is a stand and a pivot, so you need to make sure you set your surfaces up at an angle. So for Tony, since he's in a wheelchair, I'm going to move the leg rest out of the way first. These just swing away. I really recommend just taking them all the way off and getting them out of your way so that you're not going to trip on them. If the person that you're supporting is able to do this on their own, encourage them to do that on their own. If they're able to swing their own leg rests away and take them off, encourage them to do that. And then we're going to bring the chair in closer. So you want to set your surfaces up at an angle. So we're going to do almost a 90-degree angle here. You'll find your preference depending on the transfer and the environment. You want to do an angle anywhere from 45 to 90 degrees. And you want to make sure that your surfaces are close to make sure there's not room for error. So if this chair was all the way over here, there's a lot of room for error here because we'd have to take more steps and there's more opportunity for something to go wrong. You want to make sure your surfaces are close. Once you get the chair in the correct location, you want to put the brakes on. If the person you're supporting is able to do that on their own, encourage them to do it on their own. Put the brakes on. So the person should be wearing their seatbelt. At this point, you're going to stand in front of them, have them lean forward. You might have to assist them. Just make sure you're standing in front of them. And then you're going to put their gait belt on low and snug. Make sure the Velcro is on flat and give it a test. At this point, you can take the seatbelt off, or the person that you're supporting can take their own seatbelt off. And then you want to make sure that the person is set up to participate in the transfer. You're not doing this for them, you're assisting them to do it. So you want to make sure that they're set up in order to do it on their own as much as possible. So you want to make sure the person's feet are on the ground. You either have them scoot forward if they're not, or you might have to assist them a little bit to do it. You want to make sure that they are ready to push up from the chair, and you want to make sure that they're leaning their weight over their feet first. Tony talked about in our sit to stand transfer how important it is that you're assisting people in a forward and upward direction and not pulling straight up. So you also want to make sure you're using your good body mechanics. You want to have a wide base of support. I recommend putting one foot between their feet, or you can go around either way. Just make sure you have a wide, stable base. You also want to make sure that you're able to open up to your destination. So I wouldn't put this foot here because then my feet would end up getting crossed. So set yourself up for the transfer. You're going to make sure you're using your good body mechanics. Bend your knees and your hips to keep that good curve in your back. Don't round your back. Don't bend over like this. You're using your body mechanics. You're going to reach all the way around the gait belt in the back. Keep the person close to you. You're going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Stand. And then you're taking some steps. Make sure that they're close to the chair. They should feel the chair against the back of their legs. They're going to reach back and sit.